The following movie is rated
The
R.
myth that is the male gaze. Next on nove718, Loose Thoughts. Yeah. So I wanted to talk about this term, the male gaze, and the myth of it. It's not actually as mythical as I may say it is, because I guess if the male gaze is about what men tend to find more sexually appealing that they would like to look at, then there's no myth about it. But the reason why I call it a myth is it's not that serious. As if it's some sort of oppressive utensil men use on women. Because there's also something, because if you're going to use that, then we can also talk about the female gaze. You ever heard of this phrase, tall, dark, and handsome? We all heard of it. You have to be a certain height. You know, women like guys with muscles. And the reason why I have to call it a myth is because it's inconsequential. A lot of other people have talked about it. It's not even just men want to look at attractive women. Women want to look at attractive women. You want to look to people that you aspire to be. And as it pertains to comic books, of course, a man is going to want to look at a superhero that is physically buff. Not because he's sexually attracted to. Maybe some are, but that's not the overarching reason. It's something to aspire to. It's a template. It's something to look to say, dang, I want to be like that. Or something similar. Maybe not as beefy, but you still want an archetype to look up to so you can actually mold what you personally would love to see yourself as within it. And if nothing else, it's just something to aspire to. You want your superheroes to actually appear super. That's why we always drew them all types of Diesel. No one said it was a female gaze to see a man like you can see these guys busting literally through their uniform. They've drawn them to the point where you can see veins going through their costumes. No one said, God damn, man, these shit so tight, they literally painted on their costumes. But now that women seem to be more interested in the genre, and now the comic book culture has gone pop, now everybody wants to get their Anita Sarkeesian on, and I blame her for it, because she was one of those people going through all types of shit, trying to find some sort of oppressive undertone in it as it pertains to women. Which was a ridiculous premise, because you're going into straight male spaces, auditing what they like when they see a female, the opposite sex. I mean, you only could find the lifting of stuff that would bother you if you came in there with an axe to grind. That wasn't going to be hard to do. But my point being is that if we go into female spaces, you're going to see them talking about, what's the song? What these songs are, I don't want no Minute Man, or you have these Diesel guys in the videos, carrying chicks on shit. You see Diesel guys fanning these chicks with with leaves. Like, was that considered the female gaze? By definition, it would be. But nobody cared. You know why? Because it was, especially at that time, understood that women, when they looked at men, and straight women in particular, we understood the biological imperative between the sexes. People look for what they like most. People gravitate to what they're attracted to most. And again, there's always going to be a biological imperative to it. And they always talk about guys kind of might tend to go towards women with certain type of childbearing hips, quote unquote, because humanity is biologically presupposed to want to intermingle with the opposite sexes. You know why? Because without doing that, there wouldn't be humanity. But unfortunately, in this day and age, you need to hold someone's hand to walk them through the biological lessons of life. But because everybody's so caught up in their feelings that they want to, basically hash out their personal issues with the opposite sex through a larger template and make it an issue for everyone. So say if you got body issues, you're not really comfortable in your skin because all these skinny women are getting all men, yada yada yada. So what you'll do is say they're fat shaming me. There's not enough roles for fat women. There's not enough for this. There's not enough for that. Well, I could be healthy at any size, and it'd be like, well, I mean, yeah, but like, why do we need to hear this? Because in principle, a healthy person is some sort of fundamentally fit. They don't have to be diesel, cut up or nothing, but they have to be some sort of fit. They got to be able to walk through a door forward, not sideways. You know what I'm saying? Hit it through the side. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Because you're so big. You're so wide. You know what I'm saying? That's not realistic. In terms of what people are sexually attracted to, the male gaze, then there would be a version of it for homosexuals. Would it not be? I mean, shit, you could go to any gay parade and you could see them quote unquote objectifying themselves for the same sex and anybody else that want to watch it because, I guess they're getting their slut walk on, if that even makes sense. You know what I'm saying? No real variables to suggest why you would be a special snowflake. At least none that would actually be worth arguing, because the argument of itself is a stretch. No one said nothing when we saw Conan Diesel. No one said nothing when you see Chris Hemsworth with his shirt off. You know what I mean? Everybody lost their shit about all these other superhero films, but not one of these women ever had an issue with Henry Cavill showing his ass literally in BVS. If I'm not mistaken, he did. In the tub scene when he jumped in the water with Lois Lane. I didn't hear no one needing a fainting couch to pass out on. No one said nothing when these guys gotta wear these skin tight outfits. No one says nothing when they actually have to go through physical training just to get into the costume so they could look believable as a superhero. They've been doing this all the time. If the character is written on the page to look a certain kind of way, you see actors going out of their ways. Even 50 Cent's done it before. Dropped a whole lot of weight drastically just to take on the role. No complaints. No issues. When 50 Cent came out, people forget there was a line he said, because 50 Cent used to be a chubby dude. When he came out, he was mad diesel, right? You know what the first thing he said on that album? You can hear him say it. They say I'm sexy now. He knew why. He wasn't taking his shirt off before when he had a gut. But ever since he got diesel after getting shot up, guess what? Shirts came off. Who you think that was for? Was he being objectified because the shirt had to come off to sell the body? Look, we're selling images and we're also selling a fantasy. This has already been known. If you ever dealt with the industry in any kind of way, they have focus groups for a reason. They take analytics for a reason. And it ain't hard to tell. Look at the films. Look at Sex and the City, one of the biggest box office films that was actually pushed 100% by females. Were they objectifying the guys in those films? Were they objectifying themselves? by wearing all these designer shit so you could go run out and want to buy it yourself? Did you guys objectify yourselves that way? I mean, where does that line go? How far does it go? Is there any kind of self-awareness when we talk about these type of topics? I mean, are we being any kind of realistic? The male gaze. What it really sounds to me is a preemptive attack on masculinity. And that's what I really believe all of this shit is really about. Everybody is focused on putting some sort of leash on the male, on male sexuality, straight male sexuality, on male assertiveness, and on male aggression. And male aggression isn't a bad thing. There's toxic forms of any kind of people all up and down the line. If you mismanage what you have, I mean, we see women do womb hustles. You see women trapping guys. You see women walk away with half of a person's whole income. We've seen women marrying old men that look like they're gonna die next week. No one said nothing. No one cared. Because when a woman does it, we handle her with kid gloves. But when men do it, they're completely accountable, not only for their actions, but how you take anything, how you interpret their intent. This is where we're going. I've seen people, and I say that not just in particular any film, but I do know that in the film Birds of Prey, and I might do an actually extensive video, but I just, these are loose thoughts right now, man. I was just listening to something, and I just had to get on the mic and just chop it up with you guys and let you know what's going on in my mind at this time. Every time I hear people bring up the male, quote unquote, gaze, one of the dumbest buzzwords coming out of this new soft ass culture that we have here today in America. But let me know what you guys think, because I treat these truths like bullets, and bullets ain't got no names. I just take aim. Only hit dogs holler, scream if hollering ain't enough. It's nove718.